Baby Steel. I think we got a Glow Auto, guys. Yep, Glow Auto. Where are we on power? Yeah, that was fun. I was in that too. I had frostbite. Here we go. 185 Glow Auto. You think it's cousin? 185 Glow Auto. This is a beast. A beast of a card right here. Let's get it going. It's cousin. Yes, 7 to 25. Wow, 165 Ice Blizzard. Another featured. 165 Ice Blizzard Rampagade. $165 Ice Auto here, 15 out of 50. It's going to be Theo Griffey Ice Auto.
Good morning. Good morning, Slappy. It's Good Morning, Bo.
Yes, and good morning, Pabst Blue Ribbon. Thanks for continuing to be our sponsor.
PBR me, ASAP. How have you been, Slappy? What's
Good,
new in your world?
You know what's crazy, Texas? Whenever you and I talk about things to talk about on the show, we're like, oh, well, you know what? It'll probably be 20 minutes today. Like, again, this show, Good Morning Bo, it's not a set time. We generally go about an hour. We don't try to go past an hour, but a lot of times we think it's going to be a 15, 20-minute show, and we'd be okay with that.
Slappy's having a little computer issue here at the moment. Oh, there we are. Are we back?
Hey, Tex.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hey, so Tex. All right.
I think we're having a bit of a connection issue.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring on Mr. Hop first. Eric. Hey, Eric. I'm not sure. Is it me?
There we go.
Hey, Mr. Hop. Is it me or Tex who's freezing?
No, it's Tex.
Okay. All right.
It's me.
Yeah. All right. All right. So we're going to go ahead and bring Mr. Hop up. And then also bring up Seth from Mainly Breaks and also Anthony from Cursive Breaks. And the one thing, guys, I want to talk about right away is this. Babe. So you noticed we always do the highlights from these guys when we open Good Morning Bo every week. And for some reason, Eric thought this card should not have been in the opening clips. He decided to go with a friggin' 160 over this. What was that card like over this? Like, I agree that card should be in there. The other one.
I had to get through the older hits first before we get here. We got a Rolodex of hits that we got to get through. It's a backlog.
All right, so just to let you know, just because we're talking about it here, Eric, I still want that video clip for next week. All right,
I got it. Yeah.
All right.
That was a massive break, by the way. This wasn't the only nuke. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead and actually, Anthony, I'll let you take over because you were in this break, Anthony. You were watching it.
Yeah, so I try to join everybody's breaks just for viewing purposes or just kind of hanging out. Joining on the conversation, whether it's chat or, however I could support. And got in this one a couple minutes late. Was able to get my Brockness spot. But it is funny, you as a breaker, you kind of see, especially when you pick your hero. I know there's some people who jump in quick and they're like, oh, let me, can we throw this guy's name out here, throw this guy's name in here, and they try to secure their PC or someone they're after. So Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, but this was one of the first 5 spots to go off and probably got a deal. I remember you saying that early on.
Yeah, this spot went for $15. The early spots always go cheap. And I try to do requests, but at the same time, I try to be as efficient as possible and get through the list of heroes pretty quickly. So I usually will start alphabetically at the top with some of the A's and B's, and there's some monster heroes in there. So Big Poppy came up super early, and we got his super auto. But yeah, $15. What a spot. Hell of a day for Scrans. I'm super happy for him. It was one of those things, you see the bottom, you're expecting a weapon on the bottom when you see the bottom of the card. And when you see that black foil, it hits you in the back of the head like, oh wow, this is a super. And you don't really believe it until you actually see that super down at the bottom. But it was exciting, always fun to pull cards like that, and just happy that someone in the break gets to own that piece.
Yeah, I think from my standpoint, like you said, I mean, it's I haven't pulled a super as a breaker yet. I know a lot of supers just came out over the last few days, which was really cool to see. Is this your first super, Eric?
It's my second. The first one I pulled the Sea Largent auto from Alpha Update.
Nice.
Hey, Cursive, are you do we need to contact Soothing and see if he could send over his prison uniform for you until you hit your super?
I know. I've hit some 1-on-1s, but no super yet. So we'll see. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon.
Yeah. And so what do you, Eric, what's the valuation on that big poppy?
I would probably put it somewhere around 2,500, maybe close to 3.
Yeah, and do you find it the Yankees and Red Sox, obviously two very highly collectible teams? I mean, when you're talking Bernie Williams, Big Poppy, you're talking Pedro, Mariano, would you put all their super autos in that kind of range, the 2,500 to 3K range for all those guys?
Maybe Mariano a little higher, just because of his popularity and the fact that he's, probably the greatest closer we've ever seen. Big Poppy,
excuse me, probably?
Probably, yeah. Most likely.
Okay, John Rocker, like you're going to defend your hometown guy, John Rocker?
Hey, we had Smoltz closing for a while too. He was pretty good. Big Poppy, though, I mean, he's a Red Sox legend. He's a TV personality. He's in commercials, so he goes well beyond the game, I think, and that brings another level of collectability for some of these guys. I assume they're all the same power level as well, so playability is probably about the same value. But I would certainly put Pedro, Poppy, Rivera maybe a little higher in that category.
Yeah, Seth, do you I hear what Eric's saying, and emotionally I agree with him, and statistically I agree with him. But the fact is the market isn't bearing out what he's saying. Is the Unanimous Sandman is not going for a premium. We did an episode of What's It Worth the other day, and there was maybe it was a logo, but it was it's a 180. It's a Unanimous Sandman, and it's going for $110, which is insane. So I agree with Eric how it should be, and over time I would think it would get there. But again, when all the Yankee fans find this collection, right, they'll go back and they'll want this. But right now, Eric, I mean, Seth, do you think there's a premium for Mariano over these other guys for the super auto?
Yeah, no, it's a great conversation, and you're absolutely right. We saw some really, there's some steals out there. And I agree with you. Over time, we're going to see that gap narrow between the inserts and the autos. So right now, I've just seen the premium on the autos, and I think that's more to do with, this is just me spitballing here, the newer Boba collectors getting involved, and people love to see an auto. But you're absolutely right. We're not seeing the prices that I think we saw a little bit for update, but give it some time. That'll change. And quick shout out to that not only the card stand that I love, but Eric, your label goes perfectly with that super. Come on now. Does it get any better?
It's a super match. They were made for each other.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Why is your holder labeled 2 of 10?
So when you get a bulk order from the card stand folks, they will give you 25 serial numbered. It's supposed to be sort of like a chase. You don't open them, but I opened a few. There's actually a 101. My son wanted to find the 101 and got into the box and started digging through them. But there's 25 color blast, and the others are just black.
Which one did you send me? I got to go back and look now. Hey, text my esteemed host. Yes. Text my esteemed host who ignores the private chat. So we've got a guest backstage. Oh, yes, private chat. And I know you'll talk for the next 10 minutes and we'll lose the guest. I will. with that said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add you all know Rue from Decked by KJ, but her partner Heffrey is he's somebody who's been involved with Bo Jackson Battle Arena since before the first card was printed. And he's joining us live here. This is Good Morning Bo. We're talking about everything happening in Bo Jackson. Of course, they had their initial break last night. And joining us now is Heffrey. And so
There he is.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Morning.
Can you hear
Morning.
me okay?
Yeah, you sound great.
Awesome.
Loud and clear.
Awesome. Great.
So tell us about the very first show. How'd it go? Did it?
Seth, hey, Tex, stage
Yeah.
direction. What did we talk about? Go ahead, Seth.
Oh, I'm up. Yeah. I'm just gonna say what Tex said. Tell us about the first show. I was there. It looked great. It sounded great. And when you're telling us about that, anything different than you expected?
Oh man. Well, thank you guys. Those are really kind words. And thank you guys for being there last night. It meant a lot to have the community behind us. And I know mainly and Cursive and Tex and all everybody has been so kind to us on this journey. So to see everybody in that room brought us a lot of joy. I know Rue at one point was like, I might get emotional just because of all the love that was in that room. So it made us feel a lot better knowing that we had some tech stuff go on, which that happens in the whatnot world. I know you guys know how that works with everything that you guys do. So we had our struggles, but we loved it. We had a great time. Everybody was great. The chat was great. The thing that threw us for the biggest loop, which we weren't expecting and really didn't prepare for, were all the trades that happened. Like at the end of the auction, I was like, wait a minute, people do this? They're actually trades. Normally, you say trade windows open and it's just and nothing happens. And it was like there were so many things happening, and so we were not ready for that.
Actually, Tex, I have to ask you because when I saw that Jim Boeheim get hit, I was like, oh my god, did Tex trade for that spot?
Well, I did because luckily my friend B Champs hit it, so that was pretty easy. I didn't have to track him down. I was able to get a hold of him pretty quick, and we worked out a trade. It was nice. I don't think I hit anything, but at least got the trade done.
No, there was you guys hit a Boeheim last night. I mean, I don't.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we did. We had a power glove. Yeah, we had a power glove last night.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, great.
BJams
Well,
traded all the good spots away. I got my spot for BJams.
Cursive got the biggest spot.
You did. You got that Brockness spot, didn't you? I forgot about that. In that hex came out of that blaster, which was incredible. So congrats to you. That was awesome.
Is that the 1 of 1?
No, it was Icon, but it's definitely my
Icon.
card.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a nice card. So
well, they can't be more than 5 probably.
Yeah, that's probably true. So yeah, it was sweet to see that, especially out of a blaster. I couldn't believe that. So that was fun. And so overall, we kind of decompressed a little bit last night and talked about it. And we had a blast. It was a good time, and we know we'll get better. It'll get smoother. It'll hopefully be a little less chaotic when the trade stuff comes. But I thought we handled it really well. Rue was awesome. She did her thing. That's how she is in real life all day, every day. So which is crazy. I don't know how everybody has that kind of energy. I don't have that kind of energy. So
it's because she's loaded up on Diet Coke.
Maybe that could be, that really could be, and she always is loaded up on Diet Coke, but she always has great energy, and she loves the people, and she loves the product, and she has a lot of fun doing it. And I think that's kind of what it's all about, right? It's like, why would we do it if we weren't having fun doing it? So but it is a lot of work. Holy cow, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, Heffrey. And get ready for the sorting part. You thought that was a lot of work. That's coming soon.
So luckily we have Kara's son, or Rue's son, and my son Lucas. We put them to work, so they sorted as we ripped. So when the show was over, we got to see their hard work, which was all these sorting trays and everything perfectly sorted. So got to give them a lot of kudos too, because that's a big help as we get ready to ship this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing you mentioned, Rue's energy. I mean, she was great. Her smile, she's magnetic, and you bring the yin and yang. I thought it was perfect. You have like a little bit more calming presence. You're like the man behind in a sense. So I thought it was great. I was happy to be part of it. I'm really happy for you guys. So what about the future? I mean, first one was a big success, and do you have any plans, and what are they?
No, that's it. That's our one show. We're done.
Well done.
Yeah, we planned for 3 months to do that one time.
peaked.
No, we peaked. That's right. It's funny. We were talking about that last night. We're like, we have a lot of improving we can do, and I was like, which is a good thing, because if we got it all right the first time, then that would be a pretty sad. It's like, oh, what do we do now? So, but no, I think the future is we're going to keep going as long as people want to be in a room and watch us rip boba, and and as long as we have some product to rip, I think we're gonna keep going. And I think the one thing that's been really cool in all this, especially for me, because I've been in for so long, I'm kind of always on the outskirts. I know Slappy knows this. I don't get too involved, but the amount of collaboration that everybody, especially like on the breakers and the streamers, like they provide for each other, it's awesome. So that's another thing that would keep us in this and keep going, is because it doesn't feel like it's like we're up against somebody else, or there's some sort of like racing competition to outdo somebody else. It feels very collaborative, and so it feels like there can always be like new fun ideas, new things to try, new, and then there'll be new people that will come in and do it too, and then provide support and help for them too. So that's kind of what's on the horizon.
I think for me, I love that you guys started out with a double hero break, being able to match those up, and then watching Rue, the relatability on the lingo for me. Again, I know we have some breakers at varying age, right? And her just saying like, "Oh snap" on a big hit, or just some of the things that like we might say, or something that we're familiar with, and seeing the chat be like, "What do you mean, oh snap?" I'm like, it was very relatable, so it was very cool to see, and I think you guys did an amazing job on your first time around.
Shut up, Boomer.
We're looking forward to the next ones for sure.
I appreciate that, and yeah, we were we're a little older, like that's okay. Like it's funny though. I feel like maybe like we're all kind of around the same age. I feel like there's more of us than those young whippersnappers, but maybe I'm wrong.
As it should be.
No, you're right.
That's right. Yeah. So
hey, Seth, I don't know if you have anything else for Heffrey, but I know we appreciate him stopping by, but he's Mountain Time. And so I think, as you guys know, as breakers yourselves, like it was a long night last night, but it doesn't slow down. Family obligations first thing this morning. So Seth, I don't know if you want to ask him anything else. I think we have time for one more question or two more if he has it. If not, right?
Yeah, I got a couple more minutes.
That's all I had. And feel free to throw it up to the panel. But I'm excited to see what the future holds for you guys. It was wonderful.
Thank you guys. Appreciate that so much. And again, can't ask for any more love or support that we receive. So thank you. Thank all of you for being there last night. And thanks for rooting us on.
One last thing before we go quick is that for Eric and Seth and Anthony, Eric, start with you. As a fan of, not a breaker, but a fan of joining breaks, what format do you want to see with that decked by KJ next?
Pick your hero, single hero.
Okay.
That's my favorite.
I like it.
Seth?
The gambler in me likes the chance. So I really love a squad or double hero random, because there's a feeling about who am I going to get? So yeah, stick with it.
All right, Anthony.
And so for me, I've always leaned towards double hero, but I've been recently doing a lot of power breaks, and I was super nervous to do them because it's one of the smaller amounts. But I've been loving it. So just switching stuff up with the amount of product you have, obviously, the amount of packs. I'm really enjoying power breaks, from the buyer side, but obviously on the streamer side as well. It's a lot easier to sort when you only have 28 orders.
That's a good point. And I was actually going to ask you guys a question, because you guys have a lot of knowledge. Do you guys find that you rather stay consistent in the type of break that you do, or do you find that varying it up kind of leads to some better, not results necessarily, but just better engagement in the room? And what are your opinions on like that consistency versus switching it up a lot?
I think switching it up is good. I think that, as you saw, 3 of us all had 3 different answers. So when you go to the boba community, you're going to get dozens of different answers in terms of what people's favorite formats are. And you'll see some people will bow out of breaks if they don't like the format, but then other people that maybe weren't in the last break will jump in that one because they like it. Some people, like Seth, they like the lottery of the wheel spin, potentially paying a little bit less for a bigger hero spot. But then other people like myself, I want to pay for the hero that I want. I want to go after that person. And sometimes, you're willing to pay a little bit more to secure the exact hero that you're chasing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's a good point, Eric. The only thing I'll say is it's a balance between what the community wants and what works for you, because there's some stuff economically and financially just may not make sense. And as we see product continue to dry up and the prices increase, that might change a little bit. So that may change. That's really my only feedback. I try to stick with what I've done. Honestly, it's more selfish than anything else because I kind of like it. And I found out this too. Heffrey, if you put on a good product, which your first show was excellent, I said it in the show, it sounded great. People are going to stop by and support you just because it's a fun time. And so whatever you choose to do, just do it well and the people will show up, I find.
All right, that's a great note to end it on. Him saying he had a couple more minutes. That is now 5 minutes, and somebody's going to be like, cool. Heffrey, thank you so much for joining us.
Quickly, wait. Heffrey, when's your next break?
We're on Sunday, so that's 4 Eastern, 2 Mountain. We're running it back. Same thing. We didn't have the time to kind of switch it all up, so we are running it back. But should be a fun show.
Excellent.
We'll see.
All right, everybody,
guys.
go bookmark that.
All right,
Deck
thanks,
with
Heffrey.
KJ.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a great day.
See you, Heffrey.
Hey, so what I wanted to get to ask him, but we didn't have time, is how many spots, because on Radish Break Room, we were talking about how many spots Tex would buy in that initial break by Rue and Heffrey. And I don't know how many he got, but I sure saw Tex Hooper's name coming up on that wheel spinny thing a lot of time. I would say
It was more than 3 and less than B Jamps.
I will say this. I'm a little newer on most of you guys in this world, right? And I know anytime someone has a first show, your friends come out and support. You saw that with B Jams and Hoop last night. So me and my wife were talking about, oh man, like we don't know this. I was like, Heffrey sounds familiar, but I didn't know him very well. But just based off the people that were showing support, I was like, oh, he's been around for a while. This is someone who's been around for a little bit based off the support I've seen. So that was really cool to see someone that I wasn't familiar with to do something, and seeing, no offense, all you old heads come out and support.
Heffrey's
Slappy in a break, and Slappy doesn't do a lot of breaks was pretty cool.
Yeah. Heffrey's an OG.
He's
Yeah.
OG as it gets.
Hey,
Yeah.
so I will say this, Tex. I'm going to give you a hard time. I hate the term OG. I've hated it since the blockchain days of the 20s.
I'm just trying to
Why?
stay hip with the kids, Slappy.
Because to
I'm
me
a
it's-
boomer, remember? I gotta
because to
dumb it
me-
down.
Well, my kids actually, my 14, my 13, 15, and 17-year-olds love to ask me, they're like, say it, Dad, say it. How do you say OG? And I'm like, and I don't give it to them every time. I'm like, original gangsta. And it's like, they just want me to say it without the R on the end. But in terms of the OG, is that I don't like it because maybe it's my Vermont roots, which is we're the only state in the country that actually elected an anti-Masonic gubernatorial candidate. We elected somebody who didn't stand for anything. He just stood against secret societies. So we're very anti-secret societies where I come from. So I don't like, and I'm looking at you, 2048 Illuminati. I don't like the exclusivity of OG. I want everybody in the community to know, like, you look at Tex, we're looking at the people on the stage. Let's be honest, is that we might have, well, not Seth is different, but Eric and Anthony, we were here before the first card was printed for Bow Battle, but Anthony and Eric know more about the set than we do. So it just because we were
That's
here
true.
longer doesn't mean we know more. And so I don't like that OG connotation. Yeah, I mean, Anthony, I know you were here since, day 1.5, like, and Tex and I were here day negative 180. I think, I don't know, Seth, how long did we wait after we gave all our money and were told it was going to be a great product, but we couldn't see it? Was
Wow.
it 6 months? I don't know.
It was all
Oh,
blur. So
It was
Slappy,
Yeah.
that's a really good point. And let's ask the audience what should our new term be, because I don't want to be exclusive either. Like, it's not us and them, and I don't even know why you all listen to me. I don't know anything more than anyone else. OG, like I just sit up here and say things, and hopefully something lands.
Hey, that's my job.
Well, so to Cursive's point, though, is that it was interesting. It's been interesting socially to see it happen. That Rue is this well-known member of the community, and it's funny. Heffrey, who's been here for years, is like nobody knows him, and like Rue's the superstar, and she should be a superstar, just like all you guys and every one of us should be. But it's interesting that Heffrey is very much he's so well spoken. You just saw it here on Good Morning Bo, but he's quiet. He's eloquent when he speaks, but he's quiet, and so you never hear. He's never one to talk in the Discord, in the social media community of Bo Jackson Battle Arena. But listen, speaking of somebody who does speak and text, we're gonna let Cursive just we're gonna talk stage direction live here on Good Morning.
Take it
Bo.
away.
Is that we're gonna bring? Oh my God, he's got his mouth full. Let me bring him up as soon as I can. Yeah, I saw him backstage with his mouth full.
Wait. Oh my God. Oh my God. You're at Cafe Du Monde right now eating a beignet?
Yeah, I am at Cafe Du Monde right now, guys. So happy Mardi
Bless
Gras to
America.
you. You know, we're eating some beignets at Cafe Du Monde. Just excited to be here with all you old OG people. It's nice.
I am so jealous of you right now. I love Cafe Du Monde.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you for having me, Slappy.
No, good morning. So, Jason, we brought you on today. Well, welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. Looking good over there. At I would say the staple of New Orleans. Been there myself, and that is obviously one of those places you have to go to. So, good morning there. Tell us a little bit. You got some stuff coming up. We want to hear about it.
Yeah, look, guys, super excited. It's carnival season here. You know, I'm wearing my Mardi Gras shirt. I was in line getting my beignets, and 2 or 3 people walked up and complimented me on my shirt. So I wanted to dress up for the Slappy show. So no, guys, look, we're excited. Tomorrow we're going to be in the French Quarter at Turtle Bay Cafe and Spirits on Decatur Street in the middle of the French Quarter. We're going to be ripping boba on the balcony, and we're gonna have to be creative with our camera angles because we don't want to catch anything bad in the background. But so we're gonna have some fun. We're excited about it. Mrs. Big U is gonna be on stream with us, so I'm excited about that. And it's Valentine's Day, so might have a little present for Mrs. Big U during the stream. I gotta keep it. Don't tell her because she doesn't like surprises. So and hopefully she doesn't watch this before. And then so excited about that. That's at 11 o'clock tomorrow and whatnot. Please, guys, share it. And look, just come hang out. Just come hang out and have fun. We got a camera hex. Well, I guess we'll do the camera hex icon as a giveaway tomorrow, just because it's carnival time and it's purple and it's Camara and who dat. And then Monday night, I'm a little bit more nervous about just because of my physical safety. We're gonna be on the parade route. We secured a stand. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. We secured a stand on the parade route where I'm gonna angle it where my back is to all the floats as they're passing. So, and look, if you don't know, in New Orleans, it's just not a parade where it's like a Disney princess waving at you. We're throwing beads, we're throwing trinkets, we're throwing moon pies. So I'm not going to see what's being thrown at me while we're ripping boba. And it's going to be awesome. I'm so excited. I don't know if you can tell, I'm a little excited about it. So we're just excited to be a part of this community, excited to be here this morning, and looking forward to it.
Nice. So that was 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow.
11 a.m.
So
11 a.m. Central tomorrow, and then 6 p.m. Central on Monday night. And and Monday night we're going to be giving away another Camara Hex. We have the Hex mixtape that we'll be giving away to somebody, just in the spirit of Mardi Gras and the spirit of the Saints and spirit of Boba. So we're excited about it.
Nice. Looking forward to some King's cake being eaten live.
Yeah.
Excited
Well, I
for
mean,
that.
y'all caught me with the beignet live eating it. So, And I've had some costume requests from people. I won't tell y'all what Seth wants me to wear on live on the live stream, but it's look, it's gonna be fun. I won't go too crazy with the costume, but Mrs. Big U's got a bunch of Mardi Gras stuff we're gonna be sending with the packages, from the people that jump in the break. So I mean, look, we're just fired up, excited to be doing it.
Hey, Cursive, I have a question for Jason. Who the heck are these people on the flow? That's the beautiful Mrs. Big U, but Jason, when did you last look like that?
Slappy,
son?
look, I'm a little proud of myself now. I'm down 70 pounds, so
Wow.
yeah, little good.
That's awesome.
Wait, say that
And
again.
the beauty of AI is it gets rid of all the wrinkles in the face. So
Don't eat all those beignets.
that's right. Yeah, look, I'm eating one, and I promise I'm eating one, and I'm gonna leave the rest here for the pigeons.
All right, and so Jason, just one clarification, because of course some people are watching this is Good Morning Bo, some people are watching it live, and so for those who catch it recording, is that it's going to be February 14th, Valentine's Day, Saturday, and then it's going to be Monday, February 16th, and it's going to be what time on Valentine's Day?
On Valentine's Day, which is the 14th, it'll start at 11 o'clock Central, and then on the 16th, which is Lundi Gras, the day before Mardi Gras, we're going to be at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And look, we'll start the show and timed it pretty good where the parade should get to the stand around 7:15. So it's just excited about it. And we got a bunch of it's a friend of mine's stand, so we have a bunch of young people that are going to be there. When I'm talking young people, it'll be kids from 4 to 18, and then a bunch of adults that are super excited about us doing it. So, man, just can't wait to get there.
Jason, that sounds like a lot of fun. I can't wait to watch and see what happens. It's definitely a first for Bo Jackson Ballerina. If you said it, I didn't catch it. Like, what's the format? So what are you breaking?
So format is we're going to do Pick Your Hero, and we have a case of Hobby and a case of Double Mega for each break.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's a big one.
Going
Yeah,
big.
so
Nice.
it'll be fun. Thank God Mrs. Big U is going to be with me. So,
Are the players up to start bidding on right now?
yes, the pre-bids are open. Pre-bids are all open on Whatnot, and we have all of the images in there. So pick your images. I had a couple people thinking, I guess because we're tied to the singles show a lot, people thought that I was selling singles on there, and like I have a JPEG Glow Coliseum card, and somebody bid on it, and then they called me and said, "Hey, I bid on that. I think I bid too much." I'm like, "Whoa, it's for the break. It's not a card." So just want to clarify that it's for a break, not for singles that we normally do on our Wednesday night shows.
I would definitely repeat that. I have
Jason, when we go,
one of the big breaks.
What's that?
Go ahead, Scott.
I was just going to say, Jason, when you get a chance, if you could send me the link, we'll make sure to put it in chat while we're here live. I opened up Whatnot, but unfortunately, when you open Whatnot, you get 26 streams going at the same time. And if you want to see me freeze, it's like I shut it down quickly. So if you send me the link, and then after Anthony has asked your question, I can't believe Tex interrupted you when you're at Mardi Gras and you're like, "I'm glad Mrs. Big U is going to be with me," and I was like, what is he going to say at Mardi Gras that he's glad? But I want to know that, but I also want to know what Anthony was going to ask you.
No, I'm just excited that she's not a she likes being in the background, right? And she loves the organization side of it and keeping me straight. I'm just excited to have her with me. Have her with me on the stream, and we're doing this together, which is a big part of our happiness with it. And her being on stream, I'm just super excited about it.
Yeah, so I was going to say the last time I did a big break like that and use the images, a lot of people thought they were the single show. So definitely be repetitive on that. Let them know that it is a case break and we're bidding on the heroes, not singles. But I'm excited to tune in. I'm excited for you and Mrs. Big U. I hope you guys pull some Rougaroos, if I'm saying that correctly. And what we found from our last interviewee or guest, our wives are the superstars. They just let us be the face for a little bit and give us some time to shine. Seth knows that as well. So I'm excited for you, man, and keep going big.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony. I love you, and same thing with you with Lady Cursive. I know she's the rock star behind the scenes. So Just excited to let them enjoy, the side of it, on the camera side of it, and watching her on stream last week with that benefit show was amazing. Just y'all doing that is probably one of the most favorite streams I've watched, just because of where that money was going to and that benefit that you guys had.
All right. Well, it's Jason. Are you Seth? Is Anthony? Is there anything else, or do we want to wrap it up with Jason and let him get back to his beignets?
I'm good to let my brother go. If anyone else on the panel has any questions for Big U,
enjoy, my friend.
Yeah, we will, guys. And look, thank y'all so much. Look, one little tradition we do in New Orleans for anybody eating beignets for the first time, guys, is they cover them with powdered sugar. So you're talking and having a good time. Then all of a sudden, y'all have fun, guys. Have a great day. Happy Mardi Gras. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Big U.
You can't.
That was great.
We can't, Tex, we all can't go to Mardi Gras, but we can all go to a Mardi Gras break, right?
Yeah, exactly. I already bookmarked it, and I may have already put a pre-bid in.
Ooh, nice.
Because I'm a horrible degenerate.
I'm with you.
I by the way, I love when Tex was nodding his head like the women run boba. I'm like, you're not talking to your wife at all about boba. You're not.
My wife won't talk to me about boba. My wife is the one that wants nothing to do with this. She's more than welcome to join in.
You come on the show and you're like, hey, don't tell her how many hobbies that I bought it.
Oh well, yeah, that's
Sorry,
part of the problem too. But that's okay. She's not needed. She's not around. She's working. I'm working. We're ships in the night at this point.
All right. Well, Tex. So it's Director Q is like to the title. And by the way, I love what show we were talking about. I think it was when we did This Week in Bo with Mitch, and we talked about we're going to talk about the Tecmo sneak peeks that we've all been getting. And it's interesting because we never talked about it once during the show. And I'm like, I got to go back and edit that title because I'm like, we never talked about Tecmo at all. And here we are. It's 36 minutes into our live show.
Yeah, we're way in,
and we haven't talked about the title of the show. And it was huge news. And all I could think about when the news dropped is, what does Eric and Anthony and Seth think about this clarification for the cards? Because there's so much going on. I mean, last night in the Decked by KJ break, Heffery was saying, I wonder what the split is between gamers, between players and collectors. And, it's outlandish. Like, a number was thrown around 50-50. Like, again, like, we know Anthony is deep into the gaming. But I'm telling you, like, if they have a mailing list over 100,000, I am absolutely convinced it's 90-10 at best. I think it's 95-5. And I'm like, and have 5,000 people playing Boba right now at this stage is huge. Like, I think there's a ton of room to grow. I think you have a group of people you can convert into players, right? And then they become your most loyal collectors. So it's smart business strategy on their part to grow that. And I think they can. I think the fact that you have Madness, which is just war playing with your Boba cards, there's a huge room for growth. But where we are today, 90-10, 90% are collectors. But what we need to know is these are not just sports card collectibles. They all can be played. And the rules that dictate how your cards can be played should impact value. And we're seeing so many new people come into this community who don't take into playability into account at all. And so I'm just curious, Tex, like, I don't know how you want to phrase it, but I really want to know what these guys who see the cards every day, how they're reacting to this Ascension discussion and how it's going to impact their breaks, how they see values going, how they think people are going to approach breaks.
Eric, let's start with you. What do you think?
Yeah, a lot. I could talk a lot on this topic because I think it definitely affects many things. It's changed the way that I've been buying cards recently. When I look for cards to run on a single show, I definitely have tailored some of my buying habits towards some of those different levels of Ascension. I think we're also going to see some more price fluctuations as we get towards national, because you're going to start having these annual tournaments, right? Which incorporate some of the Hall of Fame cards and older cards, which are going to be more exclusive, more rare, more expensive as well. And so I think we're going to start to see more of like a calendar effect where some of these cards rise up in value as we get towards national and people are really trying to fill out their decks. It's going to be a lot harder to obtain some of those alpha era cards too. And they're going to keep their, the floor of those cards is going to be so high that they're not going to dip like I think people maybe thought they would have, and they're going to really retain their value for a long time, just having that alpha legacy continuously going. To Slappy's point, I agree 100%. I think you can bring a lot of collectors into playing the game with these cards, and I certainly had never played a TCG. I never even really looked at a TCG card. I'm a sports guy, but I've started playing Boba. I now have 3 decks that I've built myself, and so I know other people very similar to me are following that same path to where they got into the cards, didn't really even think about playing. They just thought about the collectability of it. And now it's a whole different twist, and you've got collectors and players kind of crossing paths. I think we just maybe more tournaments would help that, more local tournaments. I know there's a group of us in Atlanta. We're trying to find a place to play because right now it's a little difficult to actually play the game unless you're, in the online Discord lead, which is awesome. But I think that will expand the universe even more. So I know I answered probably multiple questions in that, but this is a topic I think we could probably go 2 hours on this topic alone and talk about how that affects these cards over time.
Really good points, Eric. Mm-hmm. So just quick question. Didn't you just start playing like a month ago and you built 3 decks in a month? I swear there was like
I'm all in, man. 2 feet in. That's how I do anything.
I love it. So the only addition I'll add to what you said, and I agree with everything, is I love the label of the Hall of Fame and what that means, because we didn't really know because we knew about the 2-year cycle and we had an idea that was going to be part of Boba going forward, but we didn't know what's going to happen with the older cards. And now we have the Hall of Fame. And there's just a teaser of what we're going to play in that and what that could be. And I think that's really exciting. And it's going to help to Anthony's going to love for me to say this, is going to help the values with the players that want to still play in the Hall of Fame, different era of whatever those events are going to be.
Yeah, I think for me, again, I want to touch on the Hall of Fame wording as well. That's an amazing way to choose the way that we're going to word these formats, going previously to what we now know as Alpha Trilogy, right? So they're going to have the Hall of Fame tournaments kind of thing, right? And we know from this last set, they have some Alpha Battle Foils, which they've announced are going to be instant. Hey, we have a new set, but just because we got a new hero that's introduced in this set doesn't mean it can't be used in the Hall of Fame tournaments, or it's not essentially a out of the box Hall of Fame card. So the reality is these Alpha Battle Foils can be used in Alpha Trilogy tournaments. So they're Hall of Fame level cards that are going with that Hall of Fame set that we first kind of broke out with, which is pretty cool. The 2-year thing, it is a TCG standard, right? Whether it's TCGs, whether it's any kind of tabletop game where there's some competitiveness to it, they all have about a 2-year cycle. They all release like 3 to 4 sets a year. The goal is, you want to buy the latest and greatest. I don't think there's a need to push people to buy the new stuff. I think it is if you go and say you buy $300-400 worth of cards for each set, within that like 18-month to 2-year period, you're going to probably get enough to build a deck every 2 years. So I think people might be worried about the wrong thing, like, oh, I got to build a deck every 2 years. So it's like, no, it's going to rotate out. There's a few things that are going to drop off, but the reality is you're going to get a handful of cards every few months that'll be able to go to your deck. Just be a little more specific about it. I had a best friend come in recently. He's been in the Boba 3 weeks. He finished his all still deck. And what we talked about, I always tell people, like, man, to be competitive, it's a $2,000 160 spec deck. He spent $2,000 on the heroes. He spent $1,000 on plays. Probably went a little hard on some big plays there. But the reality is, that's what, every 2 years rotating out, few $100, $300 to $500 every set. You're buying that anyways. It's a hobby box worth of product. So I'm excited for it on the sense that, it's going to help us as someone who breaks. but also someone that has plays, just keep things fresh. You know, we don't want the gameplay to go stale. We're going to introduce new plays and new heroes and different aspects of it that I think a lot of people are looking forward to.
Hey, Tex, something that Anthony touched on where he talked about maybe not a positive reaction by some folks. And so I just want to point out, Quick did say, looking at the Facebook forums on this, it looks very mixed responses. Of course, I couldn't get past, I think people are still hung up on not getting their Seattle. By the way, is that just not incredible about Bo Jackson Battle Arena? Who the hell cares about getting a Seattle Super Bowl a box of anything? Like, it's the only place in the world where everybody's like, I can't get my Seattle. I mean, like, nobody cares except in Boba. So I didn't know that they had moved on now to complaining about this from that. But I'll be honest, I didn't catch that in the Facebook, but I'm curious what people have heard. And you know, there's legitimate, one of the things that's really important at Radish is that we love Bo Jackson Battle Arena unapologetically. We're not news media, we're not unbiased, is like we're big supporters of Bo Jackson Battle Arena. We love it. Doesn't mean we don't have constructive criticism. Doesn't mean we don't believe there are ways to improve it and there are missteps. So I'm just curious, Tex, like you first, like, do you see this negative in any way? And I guess the two-part question is, do you guys feel that there is a drawback that overall, you know, it might be positive, but there are certain parts that are negative? And then two, are there any negative comments you're hearing that you have a response to that say, well, no, if, you know, here's the other side of the coin? It's Tex. I don't know. Do you see any negative to it?
I have not seen anything negative. I'm not on Facebook, so that probably helps. And I haven't seen too much in the Discord, but I don't know. I mean, this game is evolving and it's changing, and you know, certain things have to be put in place for the longevity of the game. And you know, with the sets coming out, I think there needs to be some guardrails and some parameters set, you know, going forward, is how this is going to work, you know, on a 2-year cycle or whatever it is. And you know, this game is what, a year old, you know, barely a year and a half old. We've come pretty far, and I think all these changes are moving in the right direction, and hopefully, you know, brings a lot more clarity to the game and stuff in the future. What do you guys think?
I'm struggling to see a negative, and I'm all about open dialogue and playing devil's advocate here. But I see Card Shark says worrying about the 2-year span, maybe 3-4 years. I don't agree with that. So even within the 2 years, you can still, as Jeff French says, get in where you fit in. There's still going to be a lane for you to collect and buy and everything else. And like, for instance, I mean, Apex is not supposed to be attainable for everyone. It's supposed to be a very special thing that costs a lot of money to be a part of. And I mean, that's the reality. I don't think we're excluding everyone. What they're doing is giving different opportunities for you to get involved. And that's up to the person to find out where that is.
Right. All of this is open to everyone.
Totally.
It just comes down to, you know, personal preference. You know, what kind of deck do you want to build? What kind of game do you want to play? How much do you want to spend?
So I think
there's a lane for everyone. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Anthony.
So I think one thing to note, right, when we're talking about these formats are specifically being used in national or regional tournaments, right? So if you're going to go to a tournament that, say, I put on in Northeast Ohio, it might not be like legal format to where I'm saying, hey, we're only going to use what's currently legal. You know, I can run a tournament that says we're going to run all the cards and not have any restrictions. No one's saying that you can't use the cards. If I'm running a game, me and my wife, I'm not going to tell my wife, hey, you can't use that card. It's not legal. You know, we're just practicing.
Right.
But I think, yeah, like I said, the 2-year cycle, who knows what's going to happen? We have very little details. It's a very broad statement from the team. And so by this nationals, they could say, hey, we're at a 2-year mark. All of Alpha Trilogy cards are going to be not standard format, so no legal format. Or they could just say, hey, we're just going to drop off Alpha, and Alpha Update is still legal. There's no reason why they can't split it up like that. They don't have to do it in a huge section or a huge chunk. So I don't want people to worry too much. Again, this is a very big TCG standard through all games. I mean, you look at every single one, and every single one has this format. This is just a team kind of going with what the norm is. And there are a lot of non-TCG people getting into this. And I think that's the market for Boba, at least initially. And a lot of people don't know that. And so they're just kind of freaking out because this is new news to them. And for people that are coming from the TCG side, like, oh, like, okay, this is normal. We get it. You know, we know the terminology. We know kind of the breakdown of it. And I'm not a TCG person pre this, but I feel like I'm picking up pretty quick.
Well, and you see quick with the comment, the complaints I've seen are people concerned that they can't keep up with big spenders who can rotate their cards faster. The counter was there were multiple options for people to play. Eric, when you say the complaints I've seen are people are concerned they can't keep up with big spenders who can rotate their cards faster. I mean, that's not a TCG issue. I mean, my favorite player in baseball, like I can't go out and, you know, I can't buy a 1 of 10 of, you know, Julio Rodriguez every year, right? Like when he was a rookie and I could get like that card, that's great. Like once he becomes great, I can't access that. So I'm not sure that's a TCG issue. And I mean, I guess I'm just trying to see like, and by the way, thanks Quick for sharing like where you're saying that is that, I mean, is this issue other than like, I don't want to take it away from people. Like, again, there would be no value in this if everybody could just, if they printed 1 million of every 1 of 1 card and they called it a 1 of 1, I'm like, we're going to print 1 million, everybody gets the 1 of 1. There's no value to it then. And I mean, you have to look at the other side of the coin. People care. People care. Like I just said, people care they couldn't get a Seattle Superhawks product. And it's good and it's bad. The bad thing is you get people upset. But on the other hand, is like, I mean, there's 1,250 Seattle Superhawk boxes. You know, clearly I mean, people's logic brain are shut off. Like 99% of us are not going to get that, more than 99%, but we're upset that we didn't get it. And so with this is that I don't want to diminish how people are feeling. I feel that disappointment too. But Eric, we were talking about, you know, constructive criticism. I guess what's the solution? So that's the thing is we're talking about what people's complaints are. What is the
socialism?
solution?
I believe socialism.
I just think the different lane, you know, we touched on it a little bit. It's having different lanes, and that's the get in where you fit in. Like there's some apex players, there's some spec players, and then there should be some beginner players that can play with the lower end cards that don't cost anything, you know, and they can have an all paper deck and it's fair across the board, or doing more sealed events, you know. I think that there's lanes for everybody. Not everyone can afford the big cards, and I think some of those bigger cards are going to keep getting bigger over time as well. And that's sort of the framework for this is to retain the value of the older edition and reward the people that got in early. And it still is early. I mean, there's still obtainable alpha and alpha update. A year from now, we might be looking at some of those cards and you don't see them ever, and they'll be ghosts, you know. So the most negative stuff I think I read was centered more around the plays versus the heroes, and the concern about some of the really, really powerful exclusive plays, you know, only being in certain people's hands. And you know, I don't know how valid some of those complaints were, but it all made sense to me in terms of what the Battle Arena team is doing. I think it changes a little bit in terms of cards values long term and short term, but I think we'll see more tournaments. I think we'll see more lanes for people to go in, and we'll see more variation, so everybody can absolutely play the game no matter how much, you know, budget they have.
Yeah, I think strategy-wise for me going into something like this, right? Like I have a still deck. I'm always going to want to keep it current format. So with the release of Griffey, I'm already about 50% of my still deck being alpha, 50% being Griffey. When the next set comes out, maybe Tecmo, I throw some of those silvers in there, and I'm essentially, I don't want to say weeding out because I'm keeping those because those cards aren't going anywhere. But I'm rotating that deck out to try to get many new cards as possible. And then from the play side, Eric, that's probably the biggest feedback that I've seen is that on two sides, there's people complaining that there's only a limited amount of people with these big plays. And then on the flip side of that, it's people saying that have the big plays. I'm like, hey, I've just spent X amount of dollars to get these big plays. Now that investment might go down the drain because you're now retiring these quicker than I assumed. And from my side, from someone who has a lot of those so-called big plays, I don't mind it. I mean, we take the investment to win now. I'm trying to win now. I'm not trying to win 6 months from now. I'm buying those plays to win now. 6 months from now, I'm going to buy whatever the new play is. So
that's a great point, which is if you're building a car for the NASCAR circuit, you're not going to be upset that you keep the same car, same engine for the next 10 years. And in 10 years, you're losing to the people who have the latest car and latest engine. But Anthony, I think to Eric's point, it's, you certainly know the value of the plays more than anyone else. But I think what's hard about plays is when you look at heroes, I know if I see a 200 power card, right? You know what you have there is that's an Apex card. There's value there in terms of beating, whether it's Apex Madness and you just have to flip it over and beat power against power, or if you're incorporating it into Playmaker with plays. The hard part with plays in Bo Jackson Battle Arena, and I don't want to go too much in the rabbit hole, we don't want to lose our audience, but when it comes to plays, that's my point kind of, is that it's not clear when you rip a play that you have $1,000 play card. When you look at it, you're like, okay, this sounds cool to play, but it's not clear that it's $1,000 play. And sometimes it's not even that you don't understand the game. Sometimes it's one card as part of a larger play deck that you have. So that's what makes plays so hard in Bo Jackson Battle Arena. Again, the heroes, people can get that. They can get, there's certain plays that affect only glow weapons, that affect only steel weapons, the power level. Like, I can understand that about heroes, but sorry, Tex, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to say, in hindsight, do you think that maybe doing short print and super short print plays was maybe a mistake? That maybe the plays should have been more, widespread instead of so limited, especially when it comes to the super short print plays, which are usually the more powerful plays?
Anthony, correct me if I'm wrong. From what I've seen for the super short prints, I mean, some are good, but there are some plays outside of the 1 through 16 that I've seen demand more value just because more people seem to be using them. So I don't know if that's hard.
But do you think in hindsight though it may have been a mistake to limit plays in general?
No,
to have a limited edition number of plays.
I think the team did this perfectly, and I'm not trying to brown nose, but one, this is a great time to bring out Bo-Rilla for the Radish price guide, because plays do get sold on eBay.
Ding, ding, ding. Where's Bo?
You the gorilla.
Bo-Rilla.
Got Boba cards? Don't guess the price. Look up their value now at radishpriceguide.com.
So saying that, Seth made a good comment that was hit the nail on the head. Not all plays are created equal. So that doesn't mean that every short print play or super short print play is great. Not every bonus play is great. One, we love the bonus plays because bonus plays are specific to a certain product, which increases the value on that product. So as a player, I might be more inclined to buy the play spot if I know there's a few double megas in there than maybe if there's a spot where there's no double megas in a break, right? So that's things that we think about. And then two, again, there are just as many plays that are common or rare that work in decks that are very efficient than there are as short print or super short print. So I did pick up example. I went to a card shop that had some singles, and they had the heroes priced out reasonably, and then the plays were all just like a quarter. So I picked up a what was it? Rich Get Richer, which I think is PL16 from Griffey for 25 cents yesterday. And that probably should be like a $10-$20 play.
Is that already up on eBay?
It isn't. I've already made my mistake.
He ran it on a single.
Hey, I just want to add one thing real quick. Eric said something, and I want to go back to it. We're still early. So for everyone worried about getting in now, like you're missing out, we're still so early in Bo Jackson Battle Arena. There's plenty of time for growth. Just hang in there. And I do want to just card Shark Sniper real quick. I didn't think you're being negative at all. I didn't take it that way. I think that the trade-off there is, I know if you're getting in now, some fears of not being able to make a deck quite as quickly or as affordably, but that's the trade-off for collectability. So we want this to be collectible. We want this to be valuable. That means not everything you're going to have access to all the time. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Excellent.
And I'm not sure, Tex, if Card Shark came in late, but absolutely love the opinion. Card Shark is that we discussed it before, but that's what we want on the show is we want people to bring up, earlier Heifer was talking about the age of people, like, which I look at, I'm looking at most of the stage and I'm like, you guys are young, but I'm of the age that I love more speech and I love it. Like if your idea is the best, you should be able to defend it and you should be able to talk off the criticism. And if the criticism is stronger than your defense, then you need to improve. So we welcome everybody who talks about that. So Speaking of text, I think to Eric's point is that we could go on for a couple hours about this. I do want to check sealed prices, but before we go there, I don't think Tex did we, while I was busy running the board, I don't think these guys mentioned, and of course we have Eric, Mr. Hop, Card Society, we have Seth, mainly Breaks, and we have Eric from Cursive, and Anthony from Cursive Breaks, is that, did we hear how they're, well, Eric talked about how he's getting ready for different break formats, but did we hear Seth and Anthony kind of talk about how this is going to change their break format?
I think Anthony may have a little, but go ahead, Anthony, and Seth, tell us what your strategy is heading into the season of competition.
Honestly, what I have going on right now with the Monday show, it's talking a little bit of meta, it's talking a little bit about market, and just kind of wrapping that up with a quick kind of breakfast show, ends with a power break. I think that might just be my thing. I don't know that I'm changing too much. I think people really like the little quick power break, 28 spots, and it's feeling right for me. So I don't know that I'm gonna go too far outside of that. Outside of the every once in a while, let me go to the mall and go do apparently a couple cases or something. I think for me, I think I'm gonna try to kind of keep breaking simple for me, and make sure that I'm balancing out, work, life, hobbies.
Sorry, Cursive, if I made it a general question, but with the Ascension, maybe it's more the product you're buying, because of course we've seen in the past when people are doing a break, it's been a big deal to be like, oh, I just picked up an Alpha Jumbo. I'm going to put it in with a case of double megas. And just the allure of, okay, some of the cards being ripped, like 10% of the cards being ripped in this break are going to be alpha or alpha update. Yeah, that's a break I want to get into. So how's that going to impact the product that you're ripping? Is it still going to be that? And I think we can all agree that's been seen as a carrot to attract people to your break if you have older product. So is that a carrot or is that now a negative? Because people are like, I don't want to be in this break. It's cards I can't play in the current modern era.
One to reference what you said, Scott. I think you're very close to the 90% collector, 10% player. If that. So in that case, I think it's always going to be a carrot. I think people are dangling that carrot out too soon. Personally, I'm kind of holding back on in majority of alpha product I have, probably for a little while longer, because we're like everyone else is saying, we're really young in this. Alpha's not that old. Alpha's barely I don't know, 6 months.
A year, right? Is it?
Well, since Blast came out, Griffey's only been out.
Oh, no, Blast is technically alpha. So
Alpha,
it's
yeah.
Right. So Griffey's only been out 4 months. We're only 4 months away from alpha technically.
Right.
And so that just seems too, it hasn't aged yet. Let it age like a fine wine. And then I'm gonna break out all a bunch of these like 115, 120 power cards that hopefully go for like 30, 40, 50 bucks.
Yeah, it's not ready to go on Pluto TV yet. It's not ready to go.
Exactly. It's not where I like to see it. There are some people that missed out, but it just isn't, the lore of retro isn't there yet for me.
To your point, Anthony, I was in Big U's break, his singles break the other night, and I have been picking up on eBay. And it's funny because Seth earlier in the show talked about like, you said it was a good deal or it's like undervalued. I can't remember what you said about, maybe it was something about unanimous salmon when I was saying how it's going to, and it's not like the market's decided now for 4 months, like that's the market. And we think it's undervalued, but clearly we're the ones who don't have the right valuation. But I've been watching eBay, and whenever there is alpha error cards, like even glow battle foils that are 140, of course the 145, if you see anything alpha 145, you buy it. That is a very hard card to get for tournament play. But I've been picking these cards up and I've noticed that they've started to tick up. I'm not buying them on eBay anymore because they're starting to get up to around $50 for a 140 glow battle foil. But during Jason's break, I still was able, there were glow rads, and God forbid it was Gravedigger. I don't need, as my son calls them, like his name needs to be changed to the Strangler. For those of us who live in New England, yes, there's more. Can't believe he played in the Super Bowl with those charges against him. But anyway, I picked up my Gravedigger glow rad, and it was like $20. And I'm like, this is insane to me. This is an alpha card and it's a glow weapon of the rad. And I'm like, I understand it's power 95. I can't put it in a spec deck, but it is anybody building, like think about Jammer and everybody else who's trying to finish their rad set from alpha. They need this card. And I'm like, this is a gatekeeper. This should not be $20. People will be building rad sets. So it just anyway, Seth, what about you for the product you're buying for your breaks? I mean, I just asked Anthony, like, is it changing it based on Ascension?
Well, I'm for first thing, great buy in that Rad Glow, by the way. Speculative, mid, long-term hold. I think that's a good purchase. So, I'm going to find out. So, when I saw that announcement, I was really excited because I had planned on doing some squad breaks using Update and Griffey. So my first one's this Sunday. So I'll tell you how it goes because I think people are going to enjoy it just because now the squad's not going to be just Griffey, but you're also going to have 2 from Update. So we're talking about 4 heroes as opposed to 2 and or 2 or 3. Yeah, and we'll see. So next show I'll be able to report back.
That's awesome.
Big news.
And Eric, you touched on it, but anything else in terms of, you talked about what you're getting ready for, but just overall big picture, how it's going to change for your customers, your breaking clients?
Yeah, I think mostly the singles game, honestly. And I do a singles show every Saturday, and it's always interesting to me. And I make mental notes of what people are asking for, what they're chasing, what cards get more bids than others, which cards get ignored. So it's the heartbeat of, I feel like any single show is like the actual heartbeat of what is going on in that category. And, there's 80 people sometimes in that room. Some of them are into Boba hardcore. Some of them aren't. You got a mix of collectors, and then you've got some hardcore Boba players, and they're only looking for specific cards. Like Anthony comes in, hey, you got my 145s, you got my 160 steals. And then you've got some other guys that maybe are looking for Apex level cards too. But then you've got people who like, all I want are PB buckets and I don't care what the power level is. So I feel like there's a wide variety, but the Ascension announcement is going to change how people buy and how people shop for cards. And I definitely am anxious and excited to see what happens tomorrow morning on that show. But I've got, out of the 70 or so cards I'm running, I think 55 of them are featured. So it's going to be a bigger show anyway. So it should be fun. And I'm just targeting in on the cards that I believe people will find more desirable. And Card Shark, best of 7. Let's do it on Sunday.
Yes, Card Shark looking for a rematch to play against play against Eric from Card Society. So awesome. Tex, I do want to look at. Can we hold you a little bit longer just to look at the sealed price?
Let's go for it.
Okay, so Tex, what do you think? The first one up here is that we've got the again. What's that, Seth?
Oh, sorry, you already brought it up. I said,
too
are we
late.
Guess again?
He ruined the game.
Sorry, guys. Bad job on my part. All right, first one is going to be the double mega. Tex 138.50 is that. You've not touched a double mega since you last bought at Target, right?
The last double mega I got was, I think it was mail order through Dick's. I think when Dick's did their online sale, their double megas, I think those were the last ones I bought. That was a while ago, and that was at retail, I believe. That was at the $85 price point, if I remember correctly. There's retail on double megas.
So Tex, we know a little bit of news for folks who didn't hear, because of course the Radish break room is a little bit chopped up, so people might not have heard. But actually, Tex, maybe I'll go to someone else. Do you want to bring up that information you can share just about the pre-order? Because we actually were able to get some information from the team about pre-order. And so Tex, you want to pull that up? You can share. And while you're doing that,
let me find it here.
I'll just ask Seth, it's 138.50. We finally cleared the 120s. I'm starting to think that the Griffey double mega box is finding its home. Like, now I'm going to be proven wrong, but it's trading like, 135 to 145. Before the pre-ordering happens in March, which Tex is going to have all the details in a second. We have a few weeks left because when people start spending money on pre-order, right, they're not going to be spending their money on eBay on sealed price. I would think they're more anxious and they want to buy like anything they can while they have their pre-order in. But of course, most people have a budget. They can't spend more money. So the Griffey double mega box, is this kind of it? I mean, is it going to level off in the 140s and we won't see it really top 150 on a permanent basis?
Great thought. I think we still see some steady increase because it's still an affordable rip where you can get bang for your buck now. So even between here and 175, I mean, there's still value there. And this thing, as long as we still have value for what comes out of it, people will continue to buy for either rip for themselves. And now breakers are maybe doing less hobbies and more megas because of availability. That could impact price because half the time we're the fools that's buying all the stuff on eBay anyway.
Wait, you're not giving
It's
that
your
product
fault.
for
You're
free?
jacking up all these prices.
I know. It's like, don't buy my stuff. I'm like, what?
Wait, Tex, which is it? Do they get all the product for no charge from Boba, or is it that they're buying it all on the secondary, causing the price to go up? Or can we blame them for everything?
Blame me for
everything. They get everything.
All right, so Tex, what do you have it up?
Yeah. So as far as the pre-sale for Tecmo goes, it's going to begin in March. We don't have an exact date yet. Those who bought Griffey and were promised Tecmo are up first when the pre-sale goes live. No details yet on how exactly that'll work, but it'll probably be through a code-based system. Everyone who bought Tecmo Hobby or retail bundles direct will have a chance to order at least one hobby box. So that's pretty cool. And there's a new retail bundle coming also. It's going to be a day one box. And Frenchie is quoted as saying, it's really cool and he thinks we'll love it.
Yeah. What do you think the chances are you're going to be able to get that day one retail bundle after 5 minutes on the shelf?
Yeah. I'm hoping for some pre-sale luck, I think, on that.
Yeah. Well, hopefully. All right. Well, so any thoughts before I want to go back and hit that seal, but Eric, I'm actually surprised that the pre-sale is not in February. Tex, I feel like usually it's about 6 weeks. I love the fact that we're going to order just a few weeks before we get the product. I mean, that's the time you have to pay without getting your product.
Right. We're used to waiting for months and months. It's 4 to 6 weeks will be nothing. Ed, does anyone have any thoughts on that, on what's coming?
I'll tell you my thoughts real quick. I thought I was being nice and being like, all right, I have a decent amount of product. I'm not going to buy any of these day one things. And I saw you all opening up, and I'm like, crap, I should have got some day ones. So no more Mr. Nice Guy. I'm buying my Max for day ones.
You can never have enough product. Remember that. You can never have enough.
Yeah. I was in that same boat, Seth. I didn't buy any day ones. The wife did, and she didn't let me, rip any good product. But as far as Tecmo goes, I'm excited to see a release date. That's something that we're all probably eager waiting on. So the April thing is here. Pre-orders in March. Makes me feel like it's going to be mid to late April, if I would guess, based on pre-orders being so late, which makes me a little sad. But we'll see. I'm excited either way. Frenchie's saying we're going to be excited. I don't think. Him saying we're going to be excited. I mean, at this point, we're excited for everything. So
I have to laugh.
Bit of an understatement,
right?
I have to laugh at Anthony for saying that. Well, and actually, hold on. I just added this. Anthony saying that he can't possibly conceive of a world where our wait time from the pre-order to the product getting delivered has shrunk. He just goes straight to, if we're pre-ordering in March, we're still going to have that long wait. And so that means it's later in April. Anthony, they could surprise you. We might just pre-order and then get our product in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, might.
Yeah, they could.
Better buy more Griffey boxes.
Yeah.
gotta stretch it out.
Well, and actually, I'm teasing the Bow team, but actually there's some truth to it, because let's be honest, is that one of the reasons why they always did the pre-sale so early is they had no idea about the demand. And so that's why they're like, well, let's get a sense for what the demand is. And then they would do the print. The print is done on this, or it's, I should say
in the final stages, probably at the very least.
Yeah. I can't imagine they're deciding to put another roll of paper on the machine, the printer or not. So they're probably, it's not printed, but it's because we're still early. It's early February. But I don't think the pre-sale is going to change the quantity. I think it's just going to decide the allocation and how much they can give to retail after they take care of those people who are in the community, which will be interesting to see how it goes. All right. I love the I want to get back, and I know we got to hop off, guys. I appreciate you guys staying here, but I do love just looking at the sealed price to see where everything's going. And so I'll just list it really quick. So since we last met, which was back on the 6th of February, we've got of course the double mega that sold today for $138.50. We have an alpha update collector booster, $675. We saw a sale for just over $700 a couple weeks ago. So that's staying right around $700. The alpha update blaster box, $95. That's down. The 30-day average is $103. So that is down a little bit. Probably that flood of SEG blaster boxes for Griffey, that's impacting that. We did have a notable sale. And Tex, let me go through the rest of these, but you got to give your feedback on this. We had an alpha blast box sell yesterday for $6,665. As one of our good friends, Tex, said, he said the bubbles burst. And I'm like, I don't know what universe you live in that a $9,000 box goes down to $6,700, and that's a bubble bursting. That is price readjustment. That is no bubble bursting. A free box that was given away, and you sell it for $6,600. Sign me up for that bubble bursting every day. There was a Griffey hobby box for sale a couple of days ago for $700. Again, we're seeing that in the $700 range. Griffey blaster box selling for $56. You're going to see it stick right around there until SEG sells out of their product. We've got the Griffey release day blaster box. That's $375. And then the other sale we had is a Big League Chew box, which shockingly was $580. That's the highest that we have seen.
Wow.
And then the, let's see, Alpha Edition blaster box, $489. So for Alpha blaster box, those little $40 blaster boxes,
Wow,
nearly $500.
Go
Yeah, sorry,
finish, Happy.
I was
Nope,
just
finish.
I was just gonna say that I can't remember who on the community was talking about the product in terms of getting the community to rip it. Like the one thing people have to understand about Jeff French, Bo Jackson's partner and co-founder, is that he wants people to rip. So he constantly puts these incentives. So like, for example, with the Big League Chew, is that there was an opportunity early on to buy it, and Tex or Seth, maybe you, or Anthony, Eric, maybe you guys remember, it was $125 if we got it ripped, and it was $200 if it wasn't ripped. Was that what it was, or something?
Significantly
Around there, yeah, something like that. It was definitely much cheaper to have it rip, or to have it the seal cut, essentially.
Right.
They weren't ripping it, but they were unsealing it from the plastic before you got it. And that's what I was going to talk about with that Big League Chew box, selling for what, it was over $600. I think you could see those really skyrocket because of, like we just said, when a majority of the people bought those, they bought them, at the National, or they bought them to be able to rip, and they were cut. The plastic was cut, so they weren't sealed. Very, very few sealed made it out into the wild. And I have one also. My son has one. You have one. But there are, that could end up being one of the rarest sealed products in boba.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that your last chance to get a ticket?
Yeah. The 25 alpha tickets, which is the Bo Jackson, the 99 Auto Glow.
Sure.
It can be pulled out of those, and only be pulled out of
only those are winning one at a regional. Yep.
Yeah.
Answers you got.
Those are. I think those are low priced actually compared to what you could pull out of there.
In Tex, it's maybe Eric, if you can take a look at Quick's comment, we'll go to it in just a second. But Tex, the blast box, $6,600. I will ridicule our friend forever. The bubble burst, $6,600.
That's healthy.
Burst. Yeah.
Well, it's a $3,000 drop, but
no, it was actually it's $2,500. But so just get it. So it wasn't even 30%. You're talking about a 25% haircut from a one-off sale. There was no market set at 9,100. That was a one-off eBay sale of 9,100, I think. It's down to 6,500.
Right.
That does not make a market 9,100. There's no bubble bursting.
Well, but we also know there were private sales for $10,000 on those too. So
do we?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Yeah, actually, we do.
I can confirm.
Yeah.
So real quick on that, I think when we see Blast Round 2, whatever that they decide to call that, there's going to be an increase in the prices in the first one. That's just my theory. So hold out. Don't sell your singles yet, Anthony. Wait, and then you'll make more money in a few months.
I dare say there are more Alpha Blast sealed boxes than there are Big League Chew sealed boxes.
I probably agree with that.
Interesting.
And the Blast were only 750 of those boxes were produced. We don't know how many Big League Chew boxes were produced, but you don't see them anymore.
And what's important to note is that in the Big League Chew, I think the gatekeeper is the Bo serialized card that comes in it of 16. So the most sets that can be ever made for Big League Chew, there's 16 sets in the world that it could possibly be made. And of course, we're not going to approach that because some are still sealed. Some go to a collector who just has one off and they have no interest in being part of the community. All right, we're super late. But then the Eric is that we had Quick who came up with look at this, looking at these sealed prices. Do you think people hoard Tecmo and just sit on it waiting for the inevitable price hike?
Yep. Yeah, people are doing it with Griffey now. You see jumbos or hobby cases pop up now of Griffey that people have had for a while. I think there are card shops that hold it back, waiting for the price spike as well. We saw it with Alpha Update, seeing it with Griffey now. Absolutely going to happen with Tecmo.
I think you're going to see it more and more with every release.
Yeah,
every release. I think there's going to be more and more people stashing sealed product.
All right.
Go ahead.
Sorry,
One thing I wanted to mention, we won't have time to talk about it. But they did do a questionnaire for the codes that you may possibly get for the Seattle, what are we calling it? Superhawks. Championship boxes that are coming out. I do want to say the questions that were asked were very specific, and I would love to talk about those. They touched on a lot of things that were very specific, and I know they're probably never going to let the data out, but I would love to speculate on what the data was for the questionnaire. If you guys answer those another time. So do you want to touch on that?
Anthony, one question about it. Sorry, I know we can talk for 75 hours, but what was your answer for your favorite memory? Because that was like the last one. Was like, what was your favorite memory of Bo Jackson Battle Arena?
So I talk about this all the time. It was First Nationals, Madness, Cheryl Miller. I had her flip over my first card against Team Bazooka with Easton, and it was a high card, and we celebrated, me and Cheryl, and yeah, that'll forever be a top moment in life for me.
Oh, awesome! What was yours mainly?
I had before we knew this was going to be a huge hit, I split a jumbo with my three brothers, and I was the one that opened it. We did a Zoom call. We opened them all together. I'm like, guys, you got to see this. Anyway, I hit a Donnie Mattingly Ice Auto, who's my PC, and then I went and graded it because I know you love grading, Anthony. It came back at 10, so that was mine.
Nice.
We got an audience question we're going to answer in a minute here, but Eric, did you fill out that survey and did you put down a memory?
Yeah, favorite memory was I had to go back to the first pack I opened, which was I got a collector box from online. My buddy locally told me about Battle Arena. This was right at the time of the National last year. And so I got a collector box online, had it shipped. He came over to my house. First pack I opened had a Resarcher gum in it. Obviously a huge Hawks fan, big fan of Ricochet. I saw that gum foil. I was like, what the hell is this? My mind was officially blown. I was hooked for life. And after that, I was ordering and ripping jumbos the next week. So those were the days. But yeah, it was first pack for me, and it was over.
Nice. And Tex, what was yours?
Mine, I was in a hurry, and the question caught me off guard, and the first thing that came to mind was when I ripped the Phoenix 1 of 1. So that was my favorite memory that I put down.
I can't believe
you have one, Slappy.
Yeah, I lied. I said when I kicked Frenchie's
You
ass.
lied.
Yeah, I said when I kicked Frenchie's ass at the Winter Brawl, he never admits it because he's so embarrassed. I actually wrote that in. I'm like, let's just see if I'm like, at least they'll know I'm not a bot. Like a bot.
Well, we know someone who won't be getting a code. Okay, quickly, Mighty Matt wants to know what's this is a nuke of a card. What's a good price to ask for a Barry Sanders metallic auto? I think it's got to be at least $1,000 to start, right?
Yeah.
A metallic?
I always tell people metallics are 350 up minimum, no matter who the metallic is, right?
Really?
They can quickly go up 450. I think that level, the top end hero, I think it's easily $700-800 card. I don't know if it breaks 1,000 for me. And I think Seth would probably agree with that.
Yeah, I do. I think it's still misunderstood in terms of rarity, and that's what's holding it back. Because we know Glow, you know Hex Auto. So I put it 700-800, and my heart, I would not sell that dang thing, but that's be a fair price.
Eric, any thoughts?
I agree with Seth. I'm in that same. I was going to say 700 as a price. I think I saw a Dan Marino go around there the other day. So I'd probably put Barry somewhere in that category.
As far as the rarity on the metallics go, I know we've never had anything officially confirmed. I don't believe at least, but
5, right?
Oh
no, because I was
no,
in a break where they said similar to gum. So that was said by a team member. So I think gum is 8 to 12.
Well, see, I've heard between 5 and 10, depending on hero. So like I would venture to say that Barry would be in the 5 category, whereas
5-ish.
It's so hard.
So between 5 and 10 was what I've been told.
Slappy, you remember you were doing the tracker back in the day, and I remember there was a hero. Gosh, but I remember they had 5 that we came up like in the first 2 months. So then I thought it was, I don't know. It's fun to talk about and speculate, but who knows?
Yeah, we still have that data. It's just such an ugly interface. I don't keep it public, but you know what? Maybe for giggles, I should. I'm just. I actually for all the trackers at Radish, I ChatGPT has just, it's amazing. Like the user interface that I can have on these trackers now. So excited to get them rolling again.
Big Rob has a couple things in the chat too, which help here on this question.
Yeah, fair statement.
And just to let you know, Tex, while you were talking, I got the email entry. It's in the chat. It's also here on the screen. And of course, I was speaking to a member of the team. This is not set in stone. They were going to double check. But for those who want to sign up to have a chance at one of the random boxes, remember, we don't know how many legitimate buys there were, but there's going to be a total of 1,250 of these boxes, both the alt and the battle foil. And a lot of bots came in. So just assume it's close to the 1,250 boxes among the 100,000 of us trying to buy it. So you can go to the code that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. You can enter your email address. We were just talking about it. It's going to ask you what your favorite boba experience is. And this is, the entries is open until it's going to close on Tuesday. And then it's going to be closing on Tuesday, probably. I don't want to speak. It's going to close on Tuesday. The person's waiting to confirm. And then it's going to open soon after for you to purchase, and you'll have 24 hours to buy your box. So it'll be important for you to check when that happens. But so if people worried about getting their email entry in, just let folks know they have all weekend to do that. And then the other thing is I went back because I was trying to find the print run on the Big League Chew because we had the Chilean asking about this. I did confirm. Isn't it amazing, guys? It was an even better deal. It was $95 ripped, and it was $195 sealed for the Big League Chew boxes. But I didn't get the print quantity. I still can't remember. I know they talked about it at different times.
Hopefully we can get that for next week's show.
Okay.
Eric, take us out. What's your next show? When are you on again?
Tomorrow, 9:30. Got some bangers to run, single show. And next Thursday, hitting that Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern has kind of been where I've settled in for breaks. But I might go to 2 breaks a week as we get closer to Griffey. We'll see.
Excellent. Seth, when are you up again?
Up again. We missed last week Sunday, 6:37 p.m. Eastern time. We'll do a squad break with Alpha Update and Griffey. Should be fun.
Excellent. Cursive. When do we get to see you again? And Lady Cursive, right? Is she going to be on again?
She's not going to be on anytime soon unless we do a big break.
Okay.
But I would love to have her on. I've always made it clear that any capacity that I have my wife joining on breaks, I would love it. As far as I'm going, with the theme of the show, and I've always said Mr. Hop has the best morning show in Boba. We're trying to make that full circle with a Good Morning Bo. I now go on Mondays between 9 and 9:30 a.m. Eastern, and hanging out and taking the Monday spot.
Excellent. Slappy, any final thoughts from you? All right. Have a great day, gentlemen. This has been Good Morning Bo. We'll see everybody next week. This is Radish. I'm Tex Hooper. Slappy's my producer. We'll see everybody later.
See you guys.
Ciao.
Bye.